Erica, this really isn't psychosis we're hearing about. This is some sort of violent, rageful reaction in a guy with psychopathy.
Yes. Absolutely. This is pure antisocial personality disorder, psychopath, serial killer, however you want to say it. This is scary, Hannibal Lecter style. There's no impulse control, very little remorse, and he actually is smart and cunning to kind of play quiet before he attacks his victim. Unfortunately, unless there's something short of like a miracle, he finds God and he completely changes, there's not a big chance of rehabbing someone like this.
Yeah, Erica, Evie, I don't know if you agree with me, but I don't think there's really much of any. In fact, when you said he's going to be incarcerated for 30 or 40 years, that scared me. I think it should possibly be for life. And my question, in addition to sort of taunting you with that, tantalizing you with that, is how do we get people to understand that just because somebody is a nice guy in a certain moment, that tells you nothing about their potential? Evie.
You know, that's a great point. We hear it all the time. Crimes are committed, and you hear the neighbors, the friends, but he seemed like such a nice guy. He seemed very normal. And I want to say to everybody, is like, do you think people who commit these crimes walk around with signs or this distressed or this crazy look? They don't. They have jobs like everybody else. They go to school like everybody else. They live a life like everybody else. It's what you don't see behind the closed doors. You don't know who anybody is 24/7. And I say this one thing, you can never vouch for anybody, ever, because you don't know who somebody is when somebody is not watching. This young man specifically, he cannot be helped, Dr. Drew. I wish I could say he could be rehabilitated. No. There is nothing to rehabilitate. Either lock him up in a mental institution or put him in jail, but he cannot be released into society, period.
I completely agree based on what we're seeing here. Erica, you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at people like O.J. Simpson and Urian Vandersloot, they do a crime, actually get off from a murder crime, and then do it again because they can't control themselves. So that's what's happening here with this guy. A similar thing, like if it was if it wasn't him, he would never do anything like that again, but he can't control himself. That's what's so scary about this. So we really need to, put this guy away.
Tiffany actually looks scared, Sam.
Yeah, I'm scared too, Dr. Drew. I mean, gosh.
With good reason. He's a scary guy. He's a scary guy. And, it really puzzles me because I really wonder where this hatred towards women comes from.
Well,
he's got
let me show you. I'll let you respond to something, Tiffany. Yeah. We've got some divorce filings where his mother claimed, quote, physical, emotional, and alcohol abuse. That's kind of a weird way of lumping those things together. In the marriage to the father, then the couple reconciled later. He changed schools and towns several times before ending up in Massachusetts, and we don't know why as of yet. So, Tiffany, I'm fearful that the parents were in denial and something was happening at each one of these schools, and whatever was going on about the stress in the home with the domestic violence or the alcohol abuse
kind of impacted it.
Well, really took what was a potential and put rocket fuel behind it. Yeah.
Right. And I think that raises a great point, Dr. Drew, because a lot of times these things are budding under the surface, and all we need is a trigger. Maybe it is a move. Maybe it is a parent's divorce. Maybe it is going away to college, where we start to see these sociopathic personalities just burst out of the seams because of some sort of trigger. And that doesn't mean that just because you move your child, you're going to end up with a sociopath, but you have to be very attentive and be very supportive in any of those types of adjustments, especially with children that are very fragile. And this is a young man who seemingly is a very fragile young man and was right on the surface and I agree with you 100%. He is a sociopath. He should not be out of prison at all. And should be really treated as an adult at this point and not a juvenile.
Please,
Sam, I want